Do you want to know how a real estate mogul thinks? Well, you're going to learn a lot about the thinking of Shane Carter. Shane, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Kenner. How are you? Happy to be here.
I love it. I like how I started that real estate mogul, because you are a real estate mogul. Now you have a big book out, bestseller, I see. So that's what we're going to talk about. And actually, we're going to learn a little bit about how you think, and maybe we can add some value to the viewers and listeners out there who are all real estate investors and all probably want to become where you are, a mogul.
Amazing. Well, that's the point of me writing the book. So hopefully I can share some nuggets of wisdom that help others on their journey. That was the whole point.
Well, let's do it. So, by the way, at the end, there's going to be a little surprise for everyone. Why don't we get right to it? First, just open up, tell us about the book, tell us about you. Let's get right to it.
Yeah, so the book is called Optimize Your Life. And it was a bit of a labor of love. It took close to 2 years, a little over a year and a half to complete. It was really just felt like something I needed to do. Just needed to get it out and go through this cathartic process of getting all my thoughts and all these things that I've learned over the last 25 years in business and as a leader. And really it's about how to live in balance, right? So it's, the leader's blueprint to optimize, health, relationships, and what does it truly mean to be successful? And so I dive into all of that, including spirituality, higher power, giving back, heart forward, leadership, and how to treat others, as well as obviously business and success, but also a lot of health and wellness and relationships, and really how to live a total holistic successful life, not just in money or business.
Dude, you're such a good dude. I've known you for a while. You're a DMB guy. I love your story. Well, hey, tell us a little bit about the business side of you. Obviously, there's a lot more to you. Let's talk about that, because I would consider you a real estate mogul. So why don't we get into that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So I have my story is that I was a kind of I guess I call it the classic self-made man story. I started out early on, and in the late 90s, bought a Carlton Sheets No Money Down book, and really started to learn and understand about real estate and how it worked, and how I was just fascinated by it all. So I started wholesaling contracts and understanding how to do that. And then I started, wholesaling homes, and then I started rehabbing and fixing homes and flipping houses. And that's when I discovered that I loved construction and development. I loved the process of transmutation. And so that grew into a passion of general contracting and becoming a developer, which led me down these other, circuitous paths of learning how to take raw land and get it entitled, and then develop it and put in roads and build homes and build condos and townhomes, et cetera. And sort of really grew that aspect of my business, built lots of sustainable homes, net zero homes, geothermal powered, solar powered homes, passive house, low energy standard homes, and then lots and lots of multi-million-dollar luxury homes as well. So I've built a lot of different types of products through my career. Those are all transactional cash flow. I always took the money I made and bought real estate, mostly passive, value add multifamily real estate, because I knew housing, and I knew what it took to do housing. So I've always been a housing guy in terms of real estate. So I started small and bought a 4-unit, and then a 6, and an 8, and a 20, and just sort of organically grew through the years. Now our company's done almost $750 million in assets, and we have investment funds, and we have a $50 million fund. We're about to start our second $100 million fund, and we really have grown to be fund managers in alternative assets and private equity real estate, while also really focusing on wealth preservation and growth through the land development business that we have and through multifamily assets.
I know we're mainly talking about the book, but let's say someone wanted to invest in one of your funds because they find out you're a big stud, which you are. How does someone get a hold of you to do so?
Yeah, so HampshireCap.com, that's our website. You can find us right through there. You can look me up on LinkedIn, Facebook, just Shane Carter, NH. I think I pop right up there for everyone. And that's really the best way. Our website has all kinds of things you can click on and get right in and talk to our investor relations team and start to learn about us and see if we're a good fit.
Got it. And it is Shane, Shane, Carter, Carter. All right, so let's get to the book, Optimize Your Life. Let's delve into that, because, again, we're going to have a little surprise at the end. But tell us a little bit about that and really how it can add value to the people who are watching and listening.
Yeah. So really, one of the things, the main part of my journey, Kenner, has been through failure, right? And so anyone,
Sorry to hear that.
yeah, anyone who fortunately is able to become, reach any level of success has to go through failure. So to everyone out there who hasn't experienced failure yet, don't be afraid of it. It's an opportunity to learn. It's an opportunity to improve, and don't treat it as if it's something to not be experienced or something to be avoided at all costs. Failure is okay, and failure is when we learn. And so accept it, love it through the process. It hurts. It's not fun, but ultimately it's a part of what it takes to, I think, become something greater than the failure that has happened. Yeah. Really, also, I wanted to put something out there because I see a lot of personalities, and we'll talk about maybe some big personalities that talk about how to be successful, or and they're in their fancy cars and in their fancy homes, and they're getting on private jets, and they're talking about a lifestyle that is very superficial. And I can speak to that because I went down that road. And what I found down that road was a sense of not being fulfilled at all. And that achievement of material possessions is not what this is about. And so, yes, it's about personal freedoms, but then what are we really, you have to get existential. You have to understand, what do you actually do? What are we doing? Why are we here? What is our point? What is our purpose in all of this? And for me, it became really clear that I wanted to give back, and that I needed to share what I've learned. And that's why I wrote the book. It's that I wanted to give back all of the lessons that I've learned, and how to be healthy in mind, body, and spirit. And it's this sort of age-old wisdom, right? But until you experience it yourself, it's easy to get out of balance and out of whack with all of those things. And so your mind, your body, and your spirit. And then there's sort of this worldly wealth thing that happens, right? And how do we really balance all of that? And then there's relationships. And because I'm a parent, I think a lot about my children and what kind of legacy am I leaving them. And it's not just about creating a family trust and having wealth preservation and all of these amazing tools that folks like you and other people out there help people with, but it's also about the legacy of empowerment and the legacy of treating others well, and the legacy of being heart forward and empathetic in how you move about on the planet, and how you conduct yourself. And that ultimately is one of the things that brings you some of the greatest wealth you'll ever find.
I think it's pretty cool that you're opening yourself up. You're showing some of your failures, because so many people out there on social media, et cetera, they just want to show their successes and how cool they are, just kind of like you're saying. You're opening yourself up. And obviously I've been investing for years, but for a new investor in real estate, they are going to read about what you're mentioning, and hopefully that's going to help them, so they don't have to trip up along the way. They could just jump straight to the front of the line, and that way be more successful. I think it makes a lot of sense what you've done. And plus, by the way, I love how you're kind of more holistic. You're taking a really holistic approach, not only talking about business, you're also talking about private life, physical, mental, the whole thing. I mean, kudos to you for that. So let's dive into the book a little bit more. So that being said, because right now I just mentioned, someone who's brand new in real estate investing. How can someone who's a senior investor, because most of our people are real estate investors who are like, they're pretty loaded. Let's say their net worth is whatever, I don't know, $10 million. They've been real estate investing for a while. How can they be advantaged by reading your book?
Well, I would hope that anyone along their journey, whether they're beginning or they've arrived at a certain level of wealth, can do what I ultimately needed to do, and what I share in the book, which is to take stock, really, truly, and honestly, look at yourself in the mirror and take stock of where you are, and take stock of, are you truly being balanced in your pursuit of wealth, and in your pursuit of strong relationships, and in the pursuit of your health, right? So if you have $10 million in the bank, but you suddenly go to the doctor and you get a blood test and you realize that your body's screwed up, guess what? All that money doesn't matter anymore. Totally. It just doesn't matter, right? Because without your health, you have nothing. And also, I go into the whole vibrancy aspect, right? And so having this energy, this thing that people can sense when they're near you, because you have vitality, you have this power of health and wellness that your cellular level is invigorated. People feel that when they're near you, and it's very magnetic. And so there's a whole other slew of things and benefits for that. But really, I would say to the folks who are in more of a senior position, really be honest with yourself. Have you been the best father? Have you been the best spouse? Have you been the best friend? Have you been the best you can actually be in a holistic way? And was it worth it to get that $10 million? Because what did you damage some things on the way? Or was it worth it? I guarantee you, when you look back at the end of your days and you're thinking about your epitaph and what people are going to say about you, nobody's going to care whether you had 10 million, 2 million, or 20 million. Nobody cares. They're going to care about how you treated them. They're going to care about what your actual legacy was. No one remembers what you looked like, what your hair color was, whether you had hair or not, whether you wore nice clothes or not, what car you drove, what house you lived in, but they will always remember how you made them feel.
Totally.
And how are you really moving through the world right now?
Ooh, Carter, nice work. Yeah, totally. I mean, wow. All right, this shows you how much I believe in you. For the first, and this is the surprise I was talking about previously, for the first 10 people who email info@vastsolutionsgroup.com, again, info@vastsolutionsgroup.com, we will get you a free copy of Shane's book, again, Optimize Your Life. With that being said, let's get ready to, shut the door on this book, if you will, or whatever you want to call it. What's one thing that you think a reader, besides what we've talked about, a reader should really walk away with respect to your book? One core thing that you think that we haven't talked about that they should walk away with and hopefully be happy with reading the book?
I would say it's this. There's multiple chapters that I write about this, but I'm going to put it out as one thesis, which is being heart forward, giving back, empowering others, and sort of creating a construct where everybody wins. And so, I don't really talk about this in the book, but this is a prime example of what I do talk about in the book, which is that, and this is a story that some people know, some people don't, but first billionaire in this country, CEO of Standard Oil, was John D. Rockefeller, right? And he, in his 30s, he became one of the wealthiest men, oil refinery, right? Standard Oil. By the time he was my age, 53, he was the wealthiest man in the world, first billionaire. And he was deathly ill. He was on his deathbed. He was given a year to live. He had more money than everybody, and he was forced to eat soup and crackers every day because that's how much in pain and how destroyed his body was.
I didn't know that. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, listen, this was great. First of all, let me quick spoiler. He lived to be 98. He was given a year to live at 53. And he lived to be 98 years old. Now, what was the change that he made? John D. Rockefeller, during his time of sickness and ill, started to do massive reflection. And he realized that he needed to give it all back. He started the John D. Rockefeller Foundation, and he started giving his money away. And he started to tell people about spirituality and about God, and that he told people he felt now that he was just a conduit to what needed to happen in the world and what he needed to do to give back. And in that process of giving back, he had miraculously recovered and lived on to be 98 years old. And he spent the rest of his life trying to give away the $1 billion that he made. What's the point of all that? He had to get to his deathbed to realize balance. Mm-hmm. And so I want to help other people understand, because there's guys out there. There's Alex Hormozy, right? And he's amazing. You listen to him, and it's go, 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 and don't sleep. You sleep when you die, and fill it and get up every day and eat more, and whatever he's preaching. But is he really preaching balance? And is that what really it's all about? Accepting a level of balance in your life. And I think from there, you actually achieve more wealth and more joy and more, you can experience more of what Rockefeller actually experienced by being on the other side of that equation, not on the, hey, I've got to earn and I've got to earn and I've got to earn side. Create balance now and realize a whole lifetime of benefits.
Yeah, work-life balance. A lot of people don't realize you could actually succeed while doing the work-life balance, and that's really what matters. No one's going to care about on your deathbed, just like you basically said, how much you're worth. They're going to care. They're going to think about your legacy, how much time you spent with your kids, et cetera, et cetera. And no one cares about how much, generally speaking, how much money you're leaving, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and it's okay to make money, and it's okay to be wealthy. And I have a family trust, and it's going to serve future generations of Carters, and it's going to produce amazing results on the planet because it's set up for them to fundamentally do good things for society. And that's the way I've written the charter for it, basically. And so it's okay to think like that and be like that, but it's also okay to do it from a place of being centered and being holistic about how we think about what it is we're doing on a day-to-day basis and how you conduct yourself while doing it, right? I don't need to get one over on someone to do something. In fact, if that's the circumstance, I'd rather not do the deal. I'd rather be out. I'd rather not make any money than do that.
Dude, nice. That's a very good way of looking at it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I like that. How you conduct yourself in business maybe even means more than really how much you accumulate down the road. It really, that's awesome. That really is awesome. And by the way, going back to the work-life balance, here at vastsolutionsgroup.com, where I lead, we only work really half the year. We're closed on Fridays. We have 10 business days off. And we give off, generally speaking, a month of, 20 days of, vacation, what we call free days. We believe in the work-life balance because, we come back to work on Monday, refreshed, et cetera, et cetera. Plus, hopefully we're adding value to the business owner because we're spending that much more time with the few business owners that we do take on. So, we believe in work-life balance. Totally.
Fantastic. That's great, man. You're living it right now.
Yeah, we really are. We really are. Okay. Just one last, once again, info@vastsolutionsgroup.com. First 10 people who email us there, in the title, put, free book. You'll get a copy of Shane's book. One last thing. You have anything else as a parting shot, if you will?
I think we covered a lot. Gosh, what else would I want to say about that? Look, I can't underestimate the power of being healthy, right? And nutrition and diet and healthy living. I think we also can get caught up in unhealthy living. And, I was personally caught up in this monologue or this story about coming from an Irish heritage and what that meant relative to consuming alcohol. And once I kind of cleansed that out of who I was and my personal identification and how I identify, my gosh, everything just really improved in my life. And everyone can do their own thing, but how you treat your body is so important, and it really affects everything. It affects everything. So if that's my one parting shot, I would say, please pay attention to how well you're treating your body.
Yeah. Once again, get a copy of his book. And if you want to, email us, get a free book, go ahead. Optimize Your Life by Shane Carter. Go ahead and email us at info@vastsolutionsgroup.com. And once again, this is Ken French signing off. I'm with the Vast Voice, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. Thanks again, Shane.
My pleasure. Thanks, Ken. I appreciate you.
Bye to everybody.